So I'm gonna first start by telling you my story of how I started earning money as a student. Okay, so let's begin. So I'll start by telling you my story. So I was basically when I was in law school, first year, my parents used to give me 300 rupees every month. That was my pocket money. Okay, and I was studying on education loan. So sometimes I didn't have money to even get a recharge for my phone, and what happens is that um, so I got an education loan and joined NUJS, and when I joined, the fees was just 67,000, and once I joined, after 1 year, the fees became 1,30,000, and I was like, wow, that's double. And I had like a loan of 2.5 lakhs that was sanctioned from SBI, I still remember, and that money was going to run out. Okay, so I was like, how am I going to finish my 5 years of education? I was very worried. I went and asked the bank if they can give me more loan. They said you need to have a property which you have to give us as collateral. Only then we'll give you more loan. And so my parents had a parcel of land at that time. There was no house. Used to live in government quarters, but they had a parcel of land. And my mother said, no problem. I'll sell my jewelry. I will, uh, will sell this land if needed, or put it as a collateral in the bank, and that way we will manage. So parents were very supportive, but I felt terrible that my parents are going to have to mortgage the only property they have to get a loan for me. It felt horrible. I'm like, why is this happening? But I said that okay, like the good thing is that I still have time. Like I have 2 years left, and money hasn't run out yet, so I can keep paying my fees for the time being from the money that the bank has sanctioned, and I'll figure something out. So I got my first break by I was not actively looking, but something came across. Like I didn't know it will be like this. When I was end of my second year, um, somebody from IMS, somebody I knew from before, when I was preparing for law entrance exams, I took admission in LST in Calcutta, Law School Tutorials. And the center manager of the Park Street Center knew me. Like we didn't interact much, but he kind of had my number, and I had topped in the NUJS entrance, so he knew me that way. Like he called me for some moot court, some mock moot court or something like that. So now what happened is that so he called me and he said that now I moved to IMS from LST, and we are launching a law entrance course, and we have like law entrance test prep and all of that, right? And he said that I have created some materials. I want you to take a look and tell me if the material is good. I said, okay, please send it across. I'll certainly take a look at it. Once he sent it to me, I saw that the material, according to me, there were many errors. And I also realized that it is copy pasted from certain books. And I was somebody who I used to read. I was a voracious reader. I knew from where what was copied. So I pointed out to them that, look, first of all, if you go ahead with this study material, highly likely that you will get into some copyright disputes. Number one. Number two is that this is not even good. Nor did I didn't say this is not good. You know what I did? I took that material, and every place I typed out comments that this is wrong, this is not good, this something has some problem. Okay, and when I wrote that, I remember there were like 200 comments that I wrote, and it took me like maybe like 2-3 days to write all the comments. Many hours, like 6-7 hours, I think. But I did it. They never said they'll pay me for doing this or anything. But I was like, it felt the right thing to do. That somebody has asked for my help, so I'll help them. So I give a proper help. So I gave all the comments and said, these are the problems. You fix this. Plus, you need to fix this plagiarism situation, and you just have to rewrite the content in your own language, and then you're good to go. So when they saw that, they saw all my comments, they panicked. Because we are about to launch. We have started selling this course to people. Now you're telling me that this study material sucks and there's so many problems. And because I had written the comments, they read a few comments and understood. They didn't read all the comments even. They read a few comments and they understood the problems are real. Like the points I have pointed out are correct. So then they said that they called me and said, you know what, Ramanuj, you are good at this. Why don't you solve this problem? Because we hired somebody, a senior, we hired a lawyer who has gone to Oxford and paid that person lots of money, but it is completely screwed. And can you help us out? We have to launch it within a month. Like we're supposed to launch it next week, but since this is so screwed up, we can't launch it. Okay, now at least help me by fixing this. And I'm like, I'm not sure, I have exams coming up. Like I have exams in 2 weeks. How am I going to do this? I don't have time. And the guy said, we'll pay you. Like, please do this, we'll pay you. I'm like, okay, how much will you pay me? They said, we'll pay you 10,000. Okay. And it's like 10,000 for me was a big money that time. Like imagine my parents give me 300 rupees. They're saying they'll give me 10,000 rupees. I was like, wow, I think I should do this. And I didn't get actually 10,000. They deducted 1,000 as TDS, which I got in tax later on. But I got 9,000 rupees. So I decided that I'm going to do it. Okay. And it was not only the money. I like that I'm going to earn money, but I loved this thing. I loved preparing for law entrance. Like you give me an exam and you tell me, okay, what is the best way to crack this? My mind goes berserk. I find out, oh, I should prepare this way. I should study this, and I'll plan it elaborately. And like, I love this thing. Okay. And so I really liked it that, I'm going to, I can help actually. Like I have ideas as to how to train people for law entrance better. So I went and I said, okay, I'll do it. I had 2 weeks before exam. For 1 week, I sat and finished this work. Okay, I just rewrote the whole book. Like it was like 120, 130 pages. I rewrote the entire thing. I fixed all the problems and gave it to them in 7 days. And I was like, anyway, I don't 7 days before exam, I'll study, it's enough. Like I had realized by that time that I only study before the exam. It's not like I stopped doing everything else 1 month before the exam. Oh, exam is coming. But in reality, I don't actually study. That is the history of my many years of experience, right? In school, like you guys must be knowing, how many of you actually start studying like months before. Most of us say that we will start studying and we block our time and we don't do anything. Many people stop going for any plays. They stop visiting relatives, whatever entertainment they stop. But they actually do not start studying. The real studying happens like the night before the exam or the week before the exam, right? Okay. My experience is that we actually don't study throughout the time, last moment before the exam. At least that is how I was back then. So I said, okay, fine. There must be some people who are able to study like that. Those are the people who top in the class, right? Of course, there are people who study very thoroughly. Not me, but. So what happened is that I realized that I'll prepare for 7 days for the exam. And first 7 days, I am going to work on this. And I did the work. I submitted it. And I got my 10,000 rupees. I remember I got a check of, they gave me a check of 10,000 rupees. I went and deposited it in the bank. So I went ahead and after the exam, I collected my check. I put it in the bank. Money came in. It's important to have money. So I'm going to figure this thing out. How am I going to earn more money? Because I can't expect my parents to give money. I can't call them and say that, give me more money, 300 rupees, not enough. They're struggling anyway. They're trying to put us through good education. So I have to learn how to earn money. And that's how I started. Okay. That's how I got started to earn money. Sumant is asking if this was in my first year. It wasn't my first year. It was in my second year that this happened. Okay.